What's going on, Future Core fans? This is Bernie here, back again with another video. Today, what we got on the agenda is a Boruto review for episode number 24, titled Boruto and Sarada. And basically, the recap of this episode is just how there's going to be a new threat coming to the shinobi world. Hopefully, it's going to be kind of darkening the mood of Boruto a little bit. I feel like it's been a little too happy-go-lucky. And in this episode, we're going to be learning that A, there's a new threat that's coming. B, Sarada is still trying to learn how to use her Sharingan. And C, Boruto is still the immature kid. So let's just get right into those 3 points. So the first point that I said was we're going to get a new threat to the shinobi world. And basically they think that ZETSU is behind this kind of evil doing. They said in the 5 Kage Summit, if you guys watched the episode, that ZETSU was born before the shinobi world. So I think we're not done with him being a threat yet. He's more of just like the guy that he's like the assist man. He's going to set up the show so that the main stars can just come in and take over. And it's really interesting to me that there's going to be someone powerful than Kaguya that Naruto and Sasuke fought. And what we got in this episode was that the Kages were really scared for the next generation because of how the Allied Shinobi Force happened. That the kids haven't really been fighting as much, like, against each other. There's no real tension or beef between villages. And so the Kages, besides Gaara and Naruto, are scared because the kids don't know how to fight. They've only been fighting maybe themselves, if even that. But I think Gaara points out, and I don't know if this is, tell me if you guys think about this, is it shade at the haters of the Boruto series itself? But Gaara points out that opinions like what the Kages have always been said about the past generation. They haven't been good, they're not ready, they're not strong enough to take on the center stage. So this is where I am just getting a little confused, and tell me if you guys, not confused in terms of like what I think is going on, but do you think this is a shot thrown at the Boruto audience that hates Boruto? Because, I mean, I could see why it is, because the way that people have been talking about it, from the people that I've watched, they said that, Boruto is kind of boring, it's really just too happy-go-lucky. I don't think, like, the previous generation would kick this generation's butt. But, we still have to see about Boruto. I mean, I won't say that Boruto is the perfect series. But I do think that doing this, what they did with this episode, which is what I liked, is that they had a Naruto section, so where he, was talking and he's involved in the episode, and then they had like the next generation kind of integrated with it. I think that's probably the perfect way to do it, because then people will actually tune into the show and they won't be annoyed with the next generation of kids. And that's really all I got on that, like in that little section. I mean, we see that there's going to be a new threat coming to the shinobi world. It looks like it's going to take a couple years, so it's probably not going to be until, it comes back from after the movie. I feel like it's going to, when we're going to start building up to that plot of someone trying to take over the shinobi world again. And the next point that I wanted to bring in this episode was that we got Sarada, who's learning her Sharingan, or how to use it very well. We see that in the training ground shot or sequence. We saw that she's really good using her Sharingan to kind of use the shurikens and throw it at the target. And Boruto's unimpressed with that. And another thing that we see here is that Sarada doesn't want anyone to know that she has the Sharingan. One, because she doesn't want anyone to target her or her family again. And I think, two, she wants to be able to... Well, she said in the episode, she wants to be able to master the Sharingan so that she can use it more effectively and, learn to chakra control it. So, that was a very interesting point for me. And then the third point was, I thought the theme of the next generation, especially from the Boruto storyline, is that everyone around him is growing up besides him. I mean, obviously it's like an homage to Naruto because he was the same way, not mature compared to his companions. He hasn't matured enough yet. But we see that everyone just keeps pointing it out to Boruto, and Boruto still doesn't listen. I'm sorry I don't really know their names, but Shikamaru's kid and Ino's kid, there was a sequence where Naruto wanted to vandalize the stone faces again. And, both of them were just out immediately because, they thought this was very childish. It's not really them anymore. And I think we're getting closer to the formations of the teams now. It's kind of crazy to me that, in the Naruto episodes, we got the Team 7, group up, very early in it. But it seems like in these episodes, we haven't really got the group up yet. It's still more of, they have the whole class there. I don't know if it's, the writer's intention to kind of elevate everybody up in that class, and then they decide to do the team up of a 3-man squad. But I mean, by now I expected the team to be set up already. I don't know. I mean, we saw in the previous episodes that, it just happened right away. So I would have imagined and would have liked to see that the team up would have happened right away. But nonetheless, this is what we got. And that's really it for this episode that I thought was very important. I mean, obviously we have the new threat coming to the shinobi world. We got Sarada still learning how to use her Sharingan. And another thing with that Sharingan thing is that, she loses focus and she gets dizzy when she uses it a lot. So we know that she's not as technically gifted with it than Sasuke and Itachi. So I'm a little curious as to why that she is not, because her parents were, or her parent and her uncle were very proficient with it, and they used it as soon as they were in the academy to without having issues with chakra control and keeping it, using it. But, enough about that. Other than that, I mean, there's really nothing about this episode that, in terms of the fighting sequences and stuff, this is more just a setup plot of what's to come. It's to set up the new evil that's coming from Zetsu. What's he going to bring back? The parallel universe, what is it? What are we going to see from it? And just more of the Boruto, we still trying to see him grow up. I mean, he hasn't grown up yet. Hopefully that changes soon. But with that is your Boruto kind of recap. I would give this episode not the best, not the worst. I'd give it probably a mediocre, 5 out of 10, just because it sets up a good plot that's very dark compared to what we've seen so far from Boruto. But, we'll see, because, the creator said that this is going to be a lighter show, so I'm hoping that they kind of have a little bit of dark element to it, so it makes it more interesting to watch. But with that is going to be your recap, guys. I hope you like this video. I'm hoping that you like, share, and subscribe. The other content that we have on here, we have amazing Dragon Ball content, the Gimmick cast, where we just talk about anything in pop culture, you name it, sports, music, wrestling, which is my thing. And then we also, of course, have the Wrestling What Did We Learn videos and other wrestling videos. So with that, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for your time, and I'll holler at you later. Peace!